What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering. I hope you're having an absolutely wonderful day. I'm sure you wouldn't be shocked and or surprised by the fact that the mainstream media lies. I mean, their lies have been what essentially has allowed a market opportunity for somebody like myself to do what I do. And I'm so thankful for their lies because it gives me an opportunity to point them out and also hopefully entertain my viewers. By the way, I also live stream every day at 5:30 Eastern over on Quartercast, on the YouTube channel, or on my Mean Green site, that free speech site. Both will be linked in the pinned comment down below. I hope you'll tune in tonight. We'll be looking a little deeper into this. So we all know that Mr. O'Keefe does seemingly have some immense hidden abilities to go on dates with people, and they just don't know who he is. And this time, he hung out with a producer on Good Morning America, where that producer admits that the show specifically selects stories and or uses contributors that align with their own political bias. He added they needed to watch out for James taking footage, quote, out of context. Meanwhile, he was unaware that he was actually speaking to James's staffer. Now, it seems like these men seeking men, I guess I won't know because I always try to react specifically, so I don't know if they're out on a date with a man or a woman. But it seems like a lot of these men who are on dates with other men spill the beans pretty easily, pretty quickly, pretty predictably. I just also want to point out there's in general there's nothing wrong with having a bias. We all have some level of bias, right? I have bias. I have a bias against mainstream media. I have a bias against hypocrisy. I have a bias against, the WNBA. There's a whole bunch of things I don't like that I can't really cover objectively. But the difference between me and mainstream media is I do not pretend to be completely unbiased. And when I do have a bias, I try to be upfront and honest about it. This is a news show that is aired on ABC, owned by Disney. And now we have a segment producer widely admitting that they purposely set this stuff up.
The truth,
Biden didn't do anything wrong.
Okay, so he's on a date with a woman, so I was wrong about that.
overwhelmingly has a liberal bias.
The right-wing people?
Yeah, those kinds of people are not necessarily based in reality. I mean,
What are they based in?
ideological dogma,
Yeah.
bigotry,
Yeah.
Hatred.
Yeah. Hatred.
ignorance. They'll just
All right-wing people are based on in political dogma. Yeah, coming from the left. Are you joking? The same people that are telling you have to, have a Pride Month for an entire month and worship a group of people. They're the ones saying that the right is mired in political dogma and ideology.
they'll try to infiltrate news or whatever and say oh, we're gonna cut footage out of context to make him seem bad.
So they're right-wing crazy.
Oh yeah. They'll
Oh yeah,
secretly record people.
like right-wing crazies. Talks about, I forgot his name, Aretha, and say the person, and they look how bad they are. I forget what his name is, James or something. Well, James O'Keefe. So let's go to this segment.
First, what exactly is the mainstream media, or MSM as it's called? According to the Oxford Dictionary, the mainstream media is, quote, traditional or established broadcasting or publishing outlets. So here in America,
Well, yeah.
With almost 3 million viewers, GMA has tremendous amount of influence. Being owned and produced by one of the biggest broadcasting companies in America, does top-rated GMA have a bias? Let's meet Nick Cerrone, a segment producer and booker
By the way, after this video released, Nick Cerrone deleted all of his social media.
at ABC's Good Morning America.
So I work in booking for GMA. We're solely focused on getting the guests interviews for the show.
Is Nick a news guy or a purveyor of opinion and propaganda? Well, here's a little preview.
The truth
Biden didn't do anything
very
wrong.
overwhelmingly has a liberal bias.
Well, no kidding.
Truth has an overwhelmingly liberal bias? Really? Let's dig deeper into this Good Morning America producer. Our undercover journalist met Nick on the dating app Bumble.
Ha,
According
got
to
him.
his dating profile, Nick is a single dog dad, newsman, and he'll cook for you. And of course, he's
Humiliating.
liberal.
Just humiliating. I just love it.
The partisan.
Well, clearly Good Morning America is not biased, so case closed, right? Not so fast.
A particular story. Sure, if it's like something that's clearly positive for Biden, we're going to talk about that story, but it's not like we're going to say, and you guys all should vote for Biden because of it, because that's
Right, not that obvious.
Right, that's not an
Yeah.
appropriate thing for a broadcast news organization to do.
So what he's saying is specifically cherry picking positive stories about our favored presidential candidate. That's definitely not bias. But if we were to come right out and say to vote for him, well, that would be a bridge too far.
I can only assume that since they give Biden all that positive feel-good TV time, they must roll out the same respect for conservative counterparts as well.
We could talk about that forever because I find like right-wing crazies so fascinating on like a scholarly level.
Oh, scholarly, huh?
Like, I'm just like baffled about how they move through life operating on those, on that mindset.
Do you think
So-
they're like? Go ahead. Finish your thought.
No, I'm just kind of baffled. They have to be.
So they're basically propaganda machines.
Yeah, absolutely. Fox News is the biggest.
Oh, yeah. Fox News is a propaganda machine. But Good Morning America, which specifically only covers positive news for their candidate of choice, is not. Because what he's saying is, if you're a liberal, that's truth. Not truth TM, but actual truth.
Are they seriously actively pushing Biden and the left-leaning ideology? It sort of looks that way. ABC is a broadcast company that holds FCC licenses, so we can assume they're giving Trump equal time.
Are you guys pushing for any stories and segments that would show how bad Trump is?
I mean, the thing about it is that it's plain as day. Even when we're just doing a general segment about him and what he's doing, we don't have to add any spin to it at all. Because it's plain as day. It's just factually.
But do you guys try to give those stories about how bad Trump is like more airtime so that people know?
I mean, anything he does is going to be newsworthy. A lot of what he does is very clearly bad. So you guys do facto, yes. But it's
So they
not,
do that.
It's not as much as our stated goal is doing this to harm Trump.
So where does the actual truth lie in this type of broadcast?
Are we presenting it in a factual way? And again, sometimes the truth has a very clear slant in one direction.
Yeah, so you don't even need to try that hard to paint him in a bad light, so to speak. It's already bad.
ABC.
The truth is liberal ideology. That's what he's saying. The truth is leftism. Anything on the right is propaganda by default and lies by default. I don't really understand how you get here. How you get to this level of TDS. It's so wild to me that he is so delusional, right? That he thinks that anything liberal is simply fact, and anything conservative or any other direction, right, is simply propaganda and incorrect or evil, bad. That's what it is. He is so brainwashed in on his own supply that he thinks he's actually doing something righteous and good.
ABC is clearly working a liberal angle. But wait, there's more. It appears they regularly bring in contributors and guest experts to take their dirty work even further.
Oh, nice.
Now, there are times when, yes, we'll have like a guest, like a contributor or a subject matter expert or something, and they can say all they want. They can say, this guy is a fucking evil piece of shit. They can say that, but when it's coming from, it's not appropriate for it to be coming from our reporters.
So what he's saying is we purposely bring someone in who doesn't like Trump or doesn't like the thing that we don't like. May not be Trump, maybe anything, really. We just bring in people that we know already don't like the thing, and we just let them do what we know they're going to do. That way we have what's called plausible deniability. He's so deep in his own propaganda that he literally believes that. Like he's saying that to her. Oh, no, we're definitely straight, honest, straightforward people. We're definitely honest people. It's just, we just bring other people on and we give them our platform and we tee them up and we make sure that they are going to say the things that we secretly want them to say. But we are news people. We are truth tellers.
So what I'm hearing is that you can pick certain guests.
By the way, this guy's an idiot. The questions this woman is asking is so weirdly specific to the job he does. And she's making him repeat it, and he's still doing it. There's at least 10% of him that knows that this is an undercover reporter and he's still trying to get laid. There's gotta be.
To come onto the show that will specifically highlight how shitty Trump is.
And that's my job in a lot of cases.
Oh, he's proud of it.
Been able to pick certain guests to go on the show that will basically talk shit about Trump.
Yeah, again, it's always just like very clear to taste. It's not like we really need to try.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Not a week goes by without a news headline about potential medical supply shortages.
I mean, and you should watch the rest, obviously. You should watch the rest of James O'Keefe's actual original work. Of course, you see here, segment producer Nick Cerrone now removes ex-profile amidst media controversy. And let's see how the latest GMA post is going. Good Morning America ranks as #1 show in total viewers. Who spilled the beans? Just going to leave this here. Oh, and number 92, you sold out, brother. What a waste. ABC is propaganda. Ha ha ha, you idiots. People do like their comforting lies. Well, Democrats anyway. The entire thread is full of people posting, dunking on them about this expose. So, I mean, just so, again, these people are so deranged that he's convinced that liberalism is the truth, TM, and that everything he's doing is in the name of truth. I think he's actually so stupid that he's convinced himself that putting out literal propaganda is doing the Lord's work. What a joke. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, please do subscribe or follow wherever you're watching. Tune into my nightly live stream at 5:30 Eastern over on Quartercast or on Rumble. I'll leave that linked in the pinned comment down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.